All right, Laurent, we made it.
Yeah,
So
how are you, Dave?
I am well. I am well, and thank you for joining me today. So first, let me welcome everyone to the inaugural edition of Around the Block. The mission of Around the Block is to engage with the TRON DAO community, help the community to evolve, to grow, to expand, and really to enable their ideas. So this series is going to be an ongoing series. Each week, we're going to interview key thought leaders and additionally major movers in the blockchain space, and we'll explore technical, philosophical, and social impacts of the blockchain industry. You can This will be streamed on the DLive protocol, as also you'll be able to find it on our TRON DAO YouTube channel. So in case you're not familiar with DLive, DLive is one of the largest blockchain live streaming services. People can have their own channels. They can receive tips from users through TronLink. It's built on the BitTorrent blockchain, and you can find it on dlive.org and download the protocol. So joining us on our first podcast here, pioneer, evangelist, writer, artist. He is Mr. Laurent Perello. I welcome you. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you, Dave. Thank you, all Tronics. I'm so happy, excited, impressed to be there today to
Great.
share a bit my vision
Yeah,
about Web3, what will be my role in the TRON DAO, in the hackathon. I'm so excited.
great,
Thanks
great.
to
So, yeah, like Laurent was saying, he is
thanks to
the
you,
TRON
Dave.
DAO blockchain advisor in the EU. He's enabling us to really expand our presence throughout the EU as he engages developers and involves more users and uncovers more use cases. And we are really honored to have him not only as a TRON DAO advisor, but also Laurent is a permanent judge of the recently started TRON DAO Hackathon. But a little more about Laurent. For the past 15 years, he's focused on building businesses as an investor or an advisor. And he knows that without a solid business strategy, methods, and processes, no business can achieve sustainability and efficiency. Now, since 2017, he's been very involved in the Web3 community where he learns, contributes, and shares his knowledge and experiences with others in the community. So, with that, before we dive in, let's just talk a little bit about the Tron Hackathon. So, this is a series of hackathon events called the Tron Grand Hackathon 2022, where we're going to hack decentralization and accelerate the cross-chain future. Now, Tron DAO has always pushed the boundaries of blockchain technology, and this hackathon is really encouraging members of the Tron DAO community to take that even further. And we think here at Tron, we think cross-chain interoperability is integral to the success of the blockchain future, as it allows different communities to engage and share ideas and really new DAOs to merge. So this hackathon will be able to engage with not only the Tron public chain, but also Ethereum, as well as the BNB chain. So there are four categories that people can make entries in: DeFi, NFT, GameFi, as well, and also Web3. Now, each of these sessions, and there's, like I said, there's three throughout the year, has an aggregate bounty, as they call it, of $500,000. That's pretty significant money for creating a project. Now, the first hackathon is already underway. It kicked off 4 days ago on February 14th, runs all the way through May 7th. Winners will be announced on May 13th. The second hackathon launches immediately following that on May 14th, extends all the way through the 13th of August. And the last hackathon of the year begins on August 14th and extends all the way into November and ends on the 13th. So how can you access the hackathon, you need to go to the TRON DAO official website. You find that at forum.trondao.org. And all the information you need to participate is there. Already, with only 4 days in, we already have a pretty significant number of entries that span each of the categories. So with that, we can begin our discussion with Laurent. I'm very interested in learning his views. I want to touch on something that's very interesting. Um, Now, every Saturday morning for at least the past 5 years, Laurent has a ritual where he reads the Nakamoto white paper in a meta-philosophical dimension, which I love. So, Laurent, I'll let you talk about that and tell the viewers here what exactly that means and why you do that.
Yes, Dave, it's my personal motto. I used to read since years now the white Satoshi Nakamoto white paper, and often when I meet people in event and conference, I used to go to the most biggest event in Europe. The first question I ask, have you ever read the white paper of Satoshi Nakamoto? You know, and I engage the discussion talking about my views. Um, you know, I'm not a developer. I'm not a tech guy, really involved in innovation. That I'm not an engineer. But the first time I read the white paper, I had to make some research and some work in my brain to understand. And more and more I was reading this, I started to just put this piece off and started to transpose this in kind of philosophical postulate, a pure moment of philosophy. I'm a
Mhm.
French guy, and since I'm really young, I'm really uh, deeply involved in philosophy, literature. I'm also a bit a writer when I have time to dive. Um, and you know, it's the first time that the purpose of an innovation is not only um, a technical or uh, um, how to say it, with a unique goal. It's a multidimensional goal. It's a multidimensional effect. You know, when you discover, some people discover today this ecosystem going through NFT, meme coin, um, DeFi, DAO, some amazing blockchain projects there, you know, but a
Mhm.
few years ago it was the beginning of the beginning, just some ideas, some dreams, some scam,
Mhm.
still some scam. It's a part of the ecosystem. And a lot of people are thinking that we recreate something, we will do better than. But the white paper, it's the genesis of all these dimensions.
Mhm.
Everything is related to Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's this
So what
fun at first. It's physically multidimensional.
so
It's a
really I
meta
think
multiverse.
yes, what you're saying partly at least, is that it launched the potential for a new era to where we really haven't explored or even reached all the possibilities that blockchain creates, right? And just now we're starting to really evolve. I think the space is really starting to evolve into what is possible. And it's going to take a few more years to get there. But I think it's on the right path, certainly.
You know, as soon as you start to consider this ecosystem in three dimension. You see all chain L1 related to Bitcoin because it's Bitcoin has inspired everything. And then
Yeah.
you put branch, and you have this kind of sphere. It's just like a mycelium. We have to extend deeply. We still have some barrier, and I have, in my opinion, define what can help to really involve everybody. We claim to bank the unbanked, since years, but in El Salvador, the example of their legal tender, because Bitcoin being legal tender, it's a real mass adoption. But we miss, but it's locally made. It's something really interesting,
What you said?
we
You
are
said it's
global,
locally made. What do you mean by that?
but it's totally it's in their local language.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I will come back to this point later because it's related to inclusivity. We claim to be inclusive, but everything mostly is still in English. 7 billion people on Earth, only 1 billion and let's say 4 million people speaking English. There is a gap, and for a lot of people, the language is a huge barrier. A lot of tools are really complicated, even for veteran old people like me, involved since a long time. A lot of scam, a lot of people accepting smart contracts and have been stolen. It's risky. It's not so easy. We have to work also to really be focused and act quickly to improve all and address all this issue, being more
Yeah.
user friendly.
Do you think
Offering
language? Do you think
a
language is a
way.
big barrier to people using
Yeah,
Bitcoin or other
absolutely.
cryptos? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if today you can click right and translate, it's complicated. I don't feel comfortable, and there is still some people who don't know you can click right translate.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it
Interesting.
it could be a great multi-chain, multi-bridge, and we will come back to this point later. Also, a project, kind of a meta DAO. Let's
Yeah.
join our force, unified our competence, engage our user to create decentralized Google Translate
So
that
do you
we
think
could integrate each one our DApp.
what do you think might be the solution to overcome the language barrier or the language issue, as you were talking about? Um, is it something like having that cross-chain operability to where people were able to find a chain within their own language, their own community, but still transact with other,
You
I
know,
guess you would call it English-based chains?
sorry, Dave.
I was
Yeah,
just
Dave. Yeah, I got it.
okay.
I'm a cloud computing veteran. These last 15 years, I have advised big company, small one, independent people to redefine their digital strategy and implementing tools, redefining business process, business efficiency is my motto. I have to work really early with a lot of famous solution. using their software as a service in
Mm-hmm.
a beta as a beta user. I have translated personally a lot of tools, saying, "Hey guys, I took the time to translate this night, last
Mm-hmm.
night. Could be nice. It could be easier to engage other people, French one, to use it because your tool is fantastic. But
Mm-hmm.
in English, it's not only the, let's say, user-friendly approach or intellectual approach, uh, the capacity to understand. It's also the sentiment you can feel when you see that a famous solution you hear about, it's
Mm-hmm.
now in French. I can be also early, not yes, one day we will translate. One day.
So you're
One,
saying
no,
there's some type
no.
of, by having applications in a person's native language, there's more, a greater sense of pride and ownership within that community.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, I had the chance to travel last 15 years and to stay for a moment
Mm-hmm.
in several countries, in Morocco, for example, Casablanca, Tangier, in
Wow.
Poland, Krakow, Warsaw, uh, in Berlin, uh, really for several months or years. And I had a great pleasure to engage everybody to
Mm-hmm.
discover. But when you meet someone who just speak Arabic,
Mm-hmm.
English, it's highly complicated.
Yes.
Understand?
So you're
And
viewing, uh, so you're saying we could use cryptocurrency and blockchain to break down language barriers to enable people who speak different languages to communicate effectively without speaking, without learning the other language. There could still be that communication, that interaction, that engagement. And a lot of that would come through the decentralized nature that we're seeing right now. So by becoming a decentralized organization or a DAO, um, as they're known, it enables a DAO really would enable people from all around, from all different countries, to work together on the same project if they choose to, um, and thereby foregoing or removing any of the barriers you see that are caused by um, different languages. Is that accurate?
yeah, yeah, of course. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you compare uh, adoption of the adoption of a DApp
Mm-hmm.
where it's based, you see that it's related to the language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's a
But what
really
does
great
it
point,
mean?
I
What
think,
does it mean for the rest?
of the world. Yeah, that's a great point. And
They are
Tron,
notable.
Tron, as you know, is a DAO, and we are. It was formed in the APAC region, very significant presence in APAC. Now it's moving around the world. You're in the EU, I'm in the US. We are expanding our presence. I'm sure soon we'll be uh, throughout North America, um, and there'll be the drivers of the DAO, those 27 um, representatives, might shift, and it will become truly a global decentralized organization. And I think that's what you're saying is really part of the benefit of decentralization is having um, leadership of a group come from all over the planet versus only one select geography where it originates, right? And I think,
Yeah, a kind.
right, and that will, I think that does create a new level of access, new level of inclusion, and a new level of engagement and interaction that really could only be fostered by something like a decentralized organization. So,
You know, sorry, Dave.
oh, go ahead.
Now, just to close the topic,
Yeah.
when I was young, I discovered the story of the creation of the encyclopedia, and it's time to build the new one,
Mm-hmm.
together as a meta DAO, a meta dictionary, each article world as an NFT.
Mm-hmm.
Each one can contribute forever,
Right.
being a piece of a moment of humanity history.
Yes. Well said.
I think it makes sense
Yeah.
to close the
With
topic.
that, let's move into speaking of NFTs, jumping into the hackathon. We've seen a number of entries come in about related to NFTs specifically, but overall with the hackathon, what are your expectations for a lot of these entries, and what um, must the entrants do to really have a successful entry?
You know, um, I recommend all projects to uh, today everything is possible. There is mostly no technical issue. If we miss someone to help on a specific point, I'm sure you will find someone in the community. You can ask us if we can help. I think the technical side shouldn't be a barrier. Uh, really um, think how uh, you will build your product
Mm-hmm.
with and for your community. Don't think you know what they need. Ask them as soon as possible
Mm-hmm.
to define with you what is the good one.
Yeah.
Engage.
So engage the potential users
Yeah,
of the tool,
yeah,
find out what they
each
need,
one.
make sure your tool's addressing the right issue, right?
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
what to your point with the technical help with Tron has some 700 engineers. We definitely have the capacity to help if that is the case. Um, so I think you're spot on there. Um, yeah, great advice. I think, I think in any product launch, you want to get out and talk to the people that are going to use it, incorporate those ideas in. And that's really, I think, part of a DAO and part of the benefit of decentralized organization is really the aspect of innovation and allowing new ideas to flow up through the community to really become part of a new project, right? And I think that's one of the benefits of a decentralized organization is it kind of formalizes, so to speak, the whole concept or model of open innovation and enabling uh, the best ideas to flow. Um, so with
yeah.
that,
It's really exciting.
it is.
DAO, it's also totally exciting. I each I daily think about a lot of conversation I've got in 2017, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
I met a lot of people. They were talking about liquid democracy and how we could implement it in our blockchain project. And it was the beginning. I met Raquel, who has published a book. Now you've got a DAO, and what's up?
Uh-huh.
Trying to share knowledge and propose exercise to manage how to work together. It's a
Hmm.
real topic, you know. I had the chance to advise, and also something I will share with all people interested to join. Take care about how you will work together.
Hmm.
Today, a lot of projects are, you know, everywhere, coming from everywhere. It's not
Okay.
so easy to work
Yeah.
together.
Let's dive a little bit more deeply into that. What do you mean by take care to work together? And what can people, particularly people entering in the hackathon, do to make sure they're working in the right way with their team?
You know, it's easy to say, "Oh, I've got an idea,"
Hmm.
and delivering the idea. There is a huge gap. It's reality. I had the chance to advise dozens of startups in cloud computing and blockchain
Uh-huh.
past 15 years. Even the successful ones are often missing the current point. You know, it's hard to work together when
Hmm.
you are, and mostly last 2 years, it was a huge challenge. Even if you were prepared, I've got internet connection, it's perfect, my laptop, perfect,
Hmm.
okay, Zoom, okay, perfect. But what? You know, a lot of people talking and no minutes doc.
Hmm.
Each one you having his own methods, working together. It's different to work,
Hmm.
working and working with in an efficient way. You know,
Yes.
burning money, producing nothing. Most of startup collapse. It's
Hmm.
reality.
What, within your
So
experience, have there been some real differentiators between in the way groups work together between the successful companies and the not so successful companies?
yeah, yeah. You know, I have myself. I'm serial entrepreneur. I failed. You know,
Hmm.
I know what it is. I feel now when I discuss, I go to somewhere,
Hmm.
I feel it. I know there is some sign because it's really hard to go from idea to reality.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
it
more
is, and
you
I think
involve your
there's a variety of
user,
challenges
your
in that.
yeah, but more you involve your user and your community,
Hmm.
less mistake you make.
Yes.
It's easy.
Yeah, make sure you're addressing the right problem
Yeah, and you keep it simple and
or
stupid.
you're solving the right
Stupid.
problem.
That's it.
Okay,
Y- You deliver,
excellent.
and
Let's
the
jump
help is needed.
topics if we can. Let's talk about GameFi. And what you see in that space and how GameFi is going to really, or if it will, in your opinion, push the use of NFTs further and help NFTs really become adopted. And as you know, we at Tron are really moving into the game space, the GameFi space, in a pretty significant way with Win NFT Horse, which is a really cool game for horse racing, kind of a play to earn model. Um, and additionally, we have 6 other games coming out throughout the year. But I'd love to hear your views on how GameFi might drive adoption of NFTs.
You know, to be honest, I'm not a player.
Okay.
I used to play when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
You know, first console. Uh, but I'm really fascinated by this gaming universe because it's far away basic stuff. It's people from all around the world doing things together with a
Mm-hmm.
common goal, with common rules. Uh, you know, it's really interesting how they are able to cross all frontiers, you
Mm-hmm.
know? and even more if we could help translate it in the all local language. It
Yes.
could be marvelous. You know, it's
Yeah.
fascinated what people are able to build or intelligent they are, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or strategist they are, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So something like a Fortnite played around the world globally with by millions of people um, really is very impressive as it does engage people from multiple countries speaking different language, probably playing each other in competition. Um, so it is quite fascinating. I do think relating it back to NFTs, I do think that um, GameFi and the ability to access something within a game, personalize it, make it your own, potentially resell it, create it. I really think that is something that's a very, very interesting and is really going to push forward the adoption of NFTs as we move along here. And I think to a large extent, um, Tron is becoming positioned quite well to benefit from that increase in NFT adoption.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, it's also impressive to consider that you can transform your passion in talent and transform it in value,
Hmm.
real value. It's
Yes,
incredible.
it is,
It's
and that's
incredible.
that's
You know, we often see things really basically, but when we transpose, what and what's it? What if? And and so you go so far away from what you see, what you hear, what people think,
hmm
and it's also a way to be more inclusive. You know, last days on social media, there is so much drama about a lot of topics.
hmm
It has no sense. It's not needed. We lose some energy.
yes,
It's so easy to change a bit our mind, each one,
hmm
and being focused on something really important today to build a strong, uh, non-resistant, censorship Web3,
hmm
like Bitcoin is, you know, as
yes,
we see what's happening in some place, you know,
hmm
it's needed.
it is. Yeah, and
And
that
we
I think
need
is
to
part of the
involve everybody, but
yes.
absolutely everybody, please.
Well, and
We
that's
cancel nobody, we onboard everybody.
hmm
That's it.
yeah, I like
It's
that. We
needed.
cancel nobody, onboard everybody. I love that.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, part of the promise of Web3 is that it enables anyone to be a creator and derive benefit from their creation, right? So in any part of the world, someone can create something, make it available to the rest of the world, and if it attracts an audience, gains users, they can be compensated for it fairly. And I think that's really one of the things I'm most excited about is the uh, balance Web3 can bring to uh, a lot of the content creators that are out there. And you're already seeing this happen in music, certainly. I think just the other day, this week, Snoop Dogg announced that I believe he purchased Death Row Records, and part of it, at least part of it, maybe all of it, is going to have release music in NFT form, right? Which I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
is a huge benefit.
yeah, yeah. I think there is several artistic domain that will be totally disrupted
Yes.
due to NFT. It's really exciting. You know, I have a lot of a French musician one, we really talented, but
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard industry, and
Yeah.
I have started to engage them, showing them some example. There is already a few musicians launching their NFT
Yeah.
project. It's fascinating. I'm so excited to see how things are moving fast
Yes.
and strongly, and how people are quickly engaged.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you're engaged, whatever is the door you took to join, we don't
Mm-hmm.
care. Some people say, oh, take the the, the rabbit hole, take the orange pill, and oh no, it's no, guys, maximalism has no sense. We need everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We need everybody. Believe
Yes.
in what you believe, but we need everybody.
Yeah. That is
No
such
need to
a.
fight.
I tell you what,
Let's cooperate.
your viewpoint is so refreshing and so thoughtful and so engaging. It's really great to hear. Now,
Honestly, Dave, we have no choice.
yeah, you're right.
It's right now. Right now, we have no choice. Let's do it. We
Mm-hmm.
are all available. There is so much fantastic people in this industry, in this ecosystem
Yeah.
community. Yeah, I met so much talented people. Time to time you say, oh, it's not one brain, it's several one. It's wow,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
involved.
Now, Lauren,
Let's, yeah,
you are an artist, right? And I believe you have an upcoming show. Now, is the art you create, are you going to release that in NFT form or NFTs of your art?
yeah,
That
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah,
great.
yeah. I will. It's when I jump in a topic, I jump deeply in the topic,
Mm-hmm.
like an experience, or you can say like a performance. What I told to myself, okay, what does it mean being uh, a Web3 artist,
Mm-hmm.
meaning
What does that
proposing
mean?
NFT by today? I'm alone
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in Tangier, maybe in the Casbah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm a young artist. Someone translate me everything. Oh, I do, and all which barrier I will have to cross to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to really make a study. I used to use a mind map tool, and it's a huge map by today. There is so much thing. It's impressive, this ecosystem. It's already so complex.
Mm-hmm.
How to mint, uh, how to publish metadata on IPFS or BitTorrent file store, whatever. It's wow. It's complicated. It's
Mm-hmm.
complicated. You hear so several things. There is so several scam. It's complicated.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Highly
So,
technical. So you
I
have
bet.
to be an artist, to dare enough in yourself to push it publicly. My
Mm-hmm.
first novel took 12 years to dare to say, okay, I go on. Because time to time you're a bit shame. Some
Yeah.
artists are a bit shame, not so confident.
Yeah,
Well,
that
you
can
can be
happen. It's certainly
confident
with
in some
creative
moments,
people.
but in front
It,
of the
yeah.
arts, it can be, you understand? And then there is the technical point. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
and we claim we want to be inclusive. Guys, we have to work little bit more, and we have to ask them how we could simplify.
Mm-hmm.
If we
Now,
want to engage more artists, musicians, in video, whatever,
mm-hmm.
we have to involve them earlier.
Yes, I agree. Now, let's let's build on that. So let's say, how does the NFT and the art translate into the metaverse, right? So if someone has access to the metaverse, could they then create their art and display it in, let's say, Decentraland or another type of metaverse?
You know, in my opinion, we will early start to talk about meta multiverse because we all admit that it's not about universe, it's multiverse, and it's not metaverse. Verse. There is several, so it's meta multiverse. It's easy, and we don't care. We will see as we start to see now. You have some bridge to cross to offer cross chain swap easily.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot, and BitTorrent chain is one of them, and it's really promising solution. It will help to engage more people. Uh, didn't I don't have to bridge, and it's so complicated. One
Yes.
unique, boom, boom, down. It's
Yes.
needed. It's coming. Okay. For NFT, it's the same. We need this. Some are working on it. It's needed. It will be the same for metaverse.
Mm-hmm.
We need a solution to be able to go through easily. It's needed. Up to guys to
Yes.
work on it. I'm
Yes.
not a developer. I
Much
share my
like,
idea, my vision. It's needed.
yeah, yeah. Much
I'm
like
sure it will
email.
come.
I mean, you can't have email sending to only a person using the same email as you. And in that same way, I don't think you can be developing on one blockchain and only interact with people on that same blockchain. It has to be multiples of that. It has to be available to everyone, regardless of what, smart contract platform that they use. And I think you're definitely right. We are moving in that direction. We are getting there, um, which is hugely important. So one last topic before we move on. Let's talk about DeFi and what's going on in that world. DeFi is certainly an area that is not only in the hackathon but very important to Tron overall, as we want to enable more companies to not only build on Tron but access the BitTorrent cross chain and be able to connect with everyone else, regardless of their chain. And I think that is obviously it's important, but I think it could even go beyond that. And what do you think some of the drivers are or decision factors for people who's to select a chain that they're going to build on?
You know, since a moment, I have really deeply started to study the Tron ecosystem
Mm-hmm.
and also start to observe the what people used to say about Tron network now, Tron DAO, and how mostly in Europe uh, uh, they misunderstand, not really well know what Tron is,
Mm-hmm.
what Tron DAO is doing. It's so impressive when you have a look to numbers, knowing that mostly 6 billions last weeks uh, transact, stable coins transact 7 billions, guys, 1 week. It's not
Yeah,
nothing. It's impressive.
it
How,
is.
how many projects have started to breed, and now with BitTorrent chain, it will change everything. We have really to work on also simplifying uh, uh, the DeFi ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I said previously, it apply to everything. You know,
Yeah.
simplifying shock. It's
Mm-hmm.
really needed if we want to now go to a really high level inclusion. meaning everybody, not
Yes.
waiting step by step. Guys, we have to change a bit our mind. Just if I can,
Hmm.
because if we reproduce the same attitude that the ecosystem we claim to change, it has no sense. It's,
Hmm.
in my opinion, it's obvious.
Hmm. Yeah.
Changing our mind,
And
it's a
that's one
big
of the
step.
things I think Tron is we're focused on this year is making it easy for people with ideas to get those ideas into the marketplace, get them up and running. So, for example, the Just Network I think helps is very useful for people to with ideas to get them up and running through the Just Network. And I think um, that is very important. Not everyone with an idea is a developer. Not everyone can go in and code, but that doesn't mean they don't have great ideas that can be successful. They just need to find the right way to enable that idea. Um, and I think that's potentially, one thing that we're thinking about here at Tron, because you're right. When you talk about inclusion and how people can become more successful, in some countries not everyone has had access to these resources of developing, learning to code and become a developer, but they still have great ideas. They understand what their community needs, right? And that's really, I think, what part of what you're talking about is enabling people with ideas from all over to make those ideas a reality to benefit not only their communities, but other communities as well. So,
You know, what we miss, it's to go directly, to be directly in touch with the user
mm-hmm,
or the potential one. Um, I have a talk uh, about blockchain, crypto, DeFi. I'm totally involved in DeFi. It's really amazing,
mm-hmm,
time to time, so complicated, even for myself.
mm-hmm.
There is some stuff, strategy from I can't understand.
Hmm.
Guys, let's keep it simple and stupid. We need to involve everybody. Some
Yes.
entrepreneur, I talk to them about DeFi. It was so complex, too complex for them.
Uh-huh.
It's not only simple people, it's for everybody. Mostly it's complicated.
Mm-hmm.
We, for me, it's really not a stupid topic. It's really the main point.
Mm-hmm.
Simplifying everything,
Yes.
simplifying everything. We built a high level technology, simplifying in the same time the usability.
Yes. Yeah, that's a really great point. Improving the usability of the technologies to where it can be accessed by virtually anyone and anyone can get an idea into the market.
Yeah,
That's really that's what decentralization is, right?
yeah,
And part of
and
decentralization is creating that usability.
exactly. And more people and more simple, we will keep it. More people will join quickly, but it's snowball effect.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
As simple it is, more user you've got. Have a look around yourself.
Mm-hmm.
A knife, everybody knows what it is. It's simple.
Yes. Yeah. Those are really great points. I love your point of view on those issues and really driving the inclusivity. I think um, I really enjoyed talking with you, and I'm looking forward to working
Thank
with
you.
you going forward. I think you
Yeah,
really have a great viewpoint, really great sense of what decentralization is all about and how to make it happen and how to drive inclusivity. Um, so I want to thank you for joining uh, the first around the block this morning. And I know you're in Paris, so it's probably much later for you. But yeah, this has really
Not
been
too late. No, no.
no, oh, excellent. Um, yeah, so that pretty much wraps up the first around the block. I think it was a great discussion. Really got into um, really the intent, the possibility of decentralization and how those possibilities engage with NFTs and DeFi and what that means for people around the world and what we can do as a DAO to really help to enable that inclusivity and enable the accessibility, which is so key to everyone. So thank you again. And for our
Thanks to
users,
you, Dave.
thank you. For our users, be sure to join us again next week where we will have on probably not someone as quite as good as Laurent, but hopefully someone equal to him, if that's even possible.
Yeah, I'm
And
sure there is some amazing people
yes,
in the
and
community. A
Laurent,
lot of
you
people.
have to let us know when
I'm
your art.
more often impressed,
Yes,
It's I'm daily impressed by people.
yes,
It's amazing community.
it
Let's
certainly
do it
is.
together. We have
And
to think and act in a way that everybody can onboard easily and really
yes,
quickly. It's needed.
yeah, I completely agree with you.
Time is now.
Yes, I agree. And you're right. This is a great industry with a lot of really interesting, dynamic people that are trying to enact change, which is amazing. And definitely, you have to let us know when your art exhibit is ready, because I definitely want to view it.
In the next day, I will share in the on social media
Oh, that's
with the
wonderful.
community.
All right. Well, thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Be sure, if you
Thanks
didn't
to
catch
you.
this live, you can catch it on YouTube. Bye, everyone.
Bye.